Yo, what's up guys, it's King Sean here, and we have some news here on a new Commanders signing. It was announced earlier today that the Washington Commanders are signing wide receiver Michael Gallup. Super interesting signing. About a week or two ago, we brought him in on a visit, and I found that quite interesting because Michael Gallup, as we all know, didn't play this past season, retired, and his last season was in 2023, right? So I found it quite interesting that we brought him in for a visit, right? And we didn't sign him last week, so I was like, okay, we're probably not going to sign him. And, we waited until now to get a deal done with him. And I do understand why we didn't sign him, though, because he did go on a visit with the Seahawks, I'm pretty sure, last week. So he just wanted to assess his options, and he decided to go to DC, obviously. And he has his coach there, Dan Quinn. He's familiar with Dan Quinn, so obviously he was the Cowboys D coordinator for 3 years while Gallup was there, so he has that familiarity. So why not go to a place where you're familiar with some of the coaches there, some of the players, and he decided to land here, right? So here's my view on the signing. I don't hate the signing. He is going to come in on the veteran minimum, right? So that doesn't scream, okay, he's definitely going to make the roster, right? He's going to come in, he's going to work, he's going to compete to try and get the 5th or 6th receiver spot. And if he stands out in training camp or in the preseason, then he'll get that spot. Now, do I think this signing prevents us from drafting a receiver? Not necessarily, because when you look at all the receivers under contract, no receiver other than Luke McCaffrey is under contract after this season, right? So I don't think this move prevents us from signing a receiver because we don't have anyone under contract after this year besides Luke McCaffrey. Now, I do expect this to extend Terry, so, he should be on the roster after this year. And maybe if Debo balls out, has a really good season, we decide to re-sign him, right? But right now, only one receiver on the roster after this year. So it will be good to have a receiver on the roster after this year, or more than one, obviously. And I expect us to re-sign Terry. So just getting another guy, and that guy could be through the draft, that would be, really good, right? Because, having only one receiver on the roster after this year, that's not amazing. Now, what I do think this signing does is it kind of eliminates the need for us to draft a receiver, right? I still would like us to draft a receiver, and I think that's still on the table. However, if we don't draft a receiver, then that's okay, because we got 6 receivers now. We got Terry, Debo, Noah Brown, Luke McCaffrey, KJ Osborne, and now Michael Gallup, right? So those are your 6 receivers. It's not a guarantee that Michael Gallup and KJ Osborne make the roster. I think Noah Brown, Luke McCaffrey, Terry, and Debo, they are locks to make the roster, right? And we usually keep 6 receivers. So Osborne and Gallup aren't locks to make the roster, and especially if we draft a receiver, right? But as of right now, it does kind of feel like Gallup will get that 5th or 6th receiver spot. And a lot could change from now to August, right, when it's time to cut our roster down to 53 men, right? But, right now, it does kind of feel like Gallup will be on this team come September. Let's go over Gallup's stats real quick. Over his entire career, he's been with the Cowboys. Over the past 3 seasons, which starts from 2023 because, as you know, he didn't play in 2024, right? So from 2023 to 2021, or from 2021 to 2023, he had only 400 plus yards in each of those seasons. 445 yards in 2021, 424 yards in 2022, and 418 yards in 2023. The Cowboys did pay him in the offseason of 2021, and midway through the 2021 season, he did suffer a season-ending injury. And after that injury, he really hasn't looked like the same Michael Gallup as he did early on in his career. Like in 2019, he had over 1,100 yards. In 2020, with the Cowboys having Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb on the roster, he still had over 840 yards and 5 touchdowns. So it really does look like after the injury he suffered in 2021, he just hasn't been looking like that same guy. And the Cowboys cut him in the offseason of 2024, and he decided to retire last season because, he just wasn't in the right headspace, according to Michael Gallup himself. So overall, I don't mind this signing at all, and it's to the veteran minimum, right? Like, we signed him to a 1-year veteran minimum deal worth up to like $1.13 million or something like that, right? So it's the veteran minimum. So low risk, high reward signing, and I understand why they did this because, we could still draft a receiver, right? This doesn't prevent us from, drafting a receiver, but, we only have 5 picks, and you can't fill in every need in the draft, right? We have our clear needs heading into the draft, so taking receiver off the table for a position that you absolutely need to fill in the draft, that's off the table now with us signing Michael Gallup and us having our 6 receivers right now. And a lot could change from now to September, right? Gallup may not even make the roster, but right now it does kind of feel like he will probably be our 5th or 6th receiver on the roster, right? But a lot could change till September, so, we'll see how this goes. So that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below your thoughts on this Michael Gallup signing. Do you like it? Do you not like it? And do you think it prevents the Commanders from drafting a receiver, or do you not think it prevents them from drafting a receiver? And other than that, it's been King Sean, and I'm out. Peace.